A thunder of jets in an open sky, a streak of gray, and a cheerful...
A loop, a whirl, and a vertical climb, and once again you'll know it's time for the adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle and friends.
Starring that supersonic speedster, Rocket J. Squirrel, with his pal Bullwinkle the Moose, and a host of others.
Hurry, Bullwinkle! The show's about to start!
I'm coming as fast as I can.
Wave to the people!
Yay!
Now what are you doing?
Signing autographs. Let's see. John Smith.
But your name is Bullwinkle!
I know, but that's hard to spell.
We're gonna have a lot of fun! Come on and join us!
Sure, there's always room for one more.
Well, today we discover our heroes flying along smoothly.
Flying along smoothly!
You're just looking at the picture sideways.
Actually, it's like this!
Well, good heavens. Today we discover our heroes hurtling straight down toward disaster at supersonic speed.
Well, that's better. Pull her up, Rock.
I am, Bullwinkle, but nothing's happening!
I can't understand it, Rocky. I designed this plane myself.
You did?
Of course.
Uh-oh, an airplane designed by Wrong-Way Peach Fuzz himself. Our boys are really in trouble.
Yes, makes you feel good all over, doesn't it?
Boris, now Mr. Big won't be mad anymore.
Who cares if he's mad? Besides me, I mean.
Me?
And still the jet drew nearer and nearer the earth.
We have just one chance, Bullwinkle!
Well, let's take it.
If Wrong-Way Peach Fuzz built the controls, maybe they work backwards!
You mean?
Yeah, I'm gonna shove this wheel forward!
What happens if you're wrong?
I figure the ship will just disintegrate!
Well, that's better than busting up, I guess. Go ahead.
So Rocky shoved the wheel forward as far as it would go, and he was right!
Hooray!
Hooray!
Hooray! Well, back to the old fireside cookbook.
And the two villains began to peruse their guidebook for a recipe to do away with our friends. Meanwhile, the intrepid Rocky had brought the plane to a smooth landing on the slopes of Mount Flatton.
Were you scared, Bullwinkle?
Me, I got nerves of steel.
Then how come your fingerprints are still in the tail of the plane?
Well, I got fingers of steel, too.
Boy, we're sure glad you're here, Captain Peach Fuzz.
Yeah, even if it did almost wreck us.
We found out why this mountain floats in the air.
Why?
Because it's chock full of...
Hold it, Rocky. You're about to give me a top secret answer, right?
Well, you asked a top secret question.
Come over here where we won't be observed.
And Captain Peach Fuzz pulled Rocky into a nearby cave.
No, whisper it to me.
This mountain is chock full of upsadaisium, daisium, daisium, daisium.
Good heavens, Rocky. This is tippy top secret. Good thing we're alone in this cave.
But Captain Peach Fuzz wouldn't have felt so secure if he had seen the huge shadow on the wall behind him. For he had accidentally stumbled on the hiding place of Mr. Big. Fortunately, Rocky sensed that there was something wrong.
I don't like this place, Captain. Let's go.
Sure enough, no sooner had they started off than a huge stone dropped right where they'd been standing.
And look on the rock, an enormous shadow. What do you suppose it is?
No doubt about it, Rocky. It's an enormous shadow.
But there's nobody there.
Well, then what are we worried about?
Come on while we still can.
And Rocky and the captain dashed quickly from the cave.
There've been a lot of strange goings-on in Mount Flatton, Captain.
Oh, dear.
Why don't we notify Washington?
I don't think he'd much care, Rock. He's dead, you know.
I mean, we gotta tell the government. They'll send somebody to help us.
Oh,
But we can't do that, Rocky. This is tippy top secret, remember?
even from the government?
There's only one thing to do then.
And that is?
If the government can't come to Mount Flatton will go to the government.
You feeling all right, Rocky?
Sure.
It's been a tough episode, I know, but...
It's the only way, Bullwinkle. We gotta figure out how to get this floating mountain back to Washington.
I only got 2 words to say to you, Rocket Squirrel.
Yes?
possible.
Well, it certainly looks that way, especially since Boris and Natasha seem to have found a good recipe in the crook book.
Oh, Natasha, this is foolproof. I'm almost ashamed to use it.
Well then.
But I will.
Be sure to be with us next time for Plots and Plans or Too Many Crooks.
Junior, I want you to pay close attention to this story, for it has a very important moral. The name of it is The Dog and His Shadow.
I know this story, Dad. It's the one about the dog who finds a bone and then sees his reflection in
Junior.
the water, and thinking it's another dog, drops his bone because...
Junior.
Because he's so greedy, see? And the moral is...
Junior, there's one moral that you haven't learned.
What's that, Pop?
To listen. So you think that's the story, huh?
Yeah, Pop.
Well, it just so happens that isn't the story at all.
Well, what is the story, Pop?
Well, all right. Once upon a time...
That's a safe start.
There was this dog, you see. There was this dog and a bone. Now, this dog was very happy with his bone until he noticed his shadow.
Say, that dog has a bigger bone than I do.
Hey, buddy. Come here.
Yes?
Don't you notice something peculiar?
No. What's the matter?
Well, I wouldn't want this to get around, but you ain't got no shadow.
No shadow? Of course I got a shadow. All dogs have shadows. In fact, all things have shadows, in a manner of speaking. It is a simple law of physics.
You ain't.
That's funny. I had one this morning.
You ain't got one now. I don't want to stick my nose in your business, Jack, but I think you ought to get one.
Oh, my goodness. What'll I do?
All right, now take it easy, buddy. I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I know a guy who deals in hot shadows. He'll sell you one pretty cheap. You meet him here at 12 midnight.
You the dog who ain't got no shadow?
Yeah, that's him, all right. You got the money, creep?
Yeah, I got it right here.
Okay, Charlie, here's your shadow. Only don't open it until after we're gone. You got that, Charlie?
Why not?
Just say that's the way the shadow bounces, Charlie.
My name ain't Charlie. Oh, well, no matter. At last, I have my shadow back again. Whoops! Hey, that's not my shadow.
Psst, buddy, don't yell. I told you I'd get you a shadow. I didn't say it'd be your shadow. This happens to be Charlie's shadow.
But whom is Charlie?
Poor Charlie.
Listen, Charlie, if I have got to have you as my shadow, you got to straighten up and act right. You got to follow my every movement. You got that? All right, then. Let's give it a run-through. Forward, hutch, up, 2, 3, 4, up, 2, 3, 4, up, 2, 3, 4. No. You are not following. How many times I got to tell you, Charlie?
I suppose you think it's easy.
And that's another thing. Shadows are not supposed to talk, even if spoke to.
Day in and day out, following every movement people make. And let me tell you, there are some pretty stupid movements we have to follow, too. We shadows want a little dignity. We want to be treated with respect. Then maybe we could do you a good turn someday.
How could a shadow help anybody?
Where's your license?
Well, I got it here someplace. I think I left it on the top bureau drawer. Get out! There's only room for one.
gotcha.
No, now I've got you.
Who said that?
I did, Fatso. Rawr!
According to the laws of physics, if there is a terrifying shadow of a lion cast upon the wall, it naturally follows that a lion is in the near vicinity.
By George, I'm going to have to admit it. Shadows are a great help.
Well, I may as well give this back.
Yeah, what's that?
It's your bone.
Oh, then you're...
That's right. I was your shadow all along.
Well, I will be. But tell me, who is this guy, Charlie?
Which, of course, brings us to our moral. Treat your shadow with respect, and you will not be sorry.
For how can you be really sure it is not owned by Charlie?
And now, here's that connoisseur of confusion, Mr. Know-It-All.
Greetings, Pandemonium fans. My subject for today is how to water ski, or 5 steps to easy drowning. Water skiing is a relatively simple sport. No more difficult, say, than swimming the English Channel. It has all the thrills of regular skiing and none of the trees. First, we need a boat. I had something a little bigger in mind. Now, if we could have something in between. Thank you. Now, we need a length of rope. A little rope, if you please.
Here's the rope, Bullwinkle.
Very funny. We tie the rope to the back of the boat, slip into our skis, and we're ready to go.
Didn't you forget something, Bullwinkle?
What's that, Brock? I've got my swimsuit on, haven't I?
Water, Bullwinkle.
Glad you reminded me. I'll just hitch the boat to my car, and we're off. Sometimes it's a good idea to put the boat on a trailer before hitching it to the car. Now, let's find the water. Let's see, what we need is a body of water. Aha, something like this. Now, we start the motor. Now, we start the motor. Now, we start.
Thank you, Mr. Know-It-All.
You're welcome.
And now...
Hey, Rocky, watch me pull a rabbit out of my hat.
Again?
Nothing up my sleeve. Presto!
Wrong hat.
I take a 7.5.
Now here's something we hope you'll really like.
Hello out there, Peabody once again, and over by the Wayback Machine is my boy, Sherman. Sherman's the one with the glasses.
Hello.
What do you think of China, Sherman?
It breaks awful easy, Mr. Peabody.
I'm referring to China, the country, Sherman. For you see, today we're going back to 400 BC, where we'll visit that distinguished philosopher, Confucius. In a trice, the Wayback transported us from my penthouse apartment to the ancient province of Lu. I consulted a street directory and discovered that Confucius resided at 301 Chow Main Street.
That's 301 over there, Mr. Peabody. But look, it's a penny arcade.
Nonetheless, it was also the home of Confucius.
Put a yen in the slot and Confucius gonna give you one of his very famous sayings.
Do you have a yen on you, Sherman?
Sorry, Mr. Peabody.
We don't have any yen, Confucius.
Then can I give you a famous saying? Gotta make a buck, you know.
Look, could we come back later when you're through and have a chat?
Why not? Confucius ends shift at 5:30.
We'll see you then. Sherman and I went to the nearest restaurant. I drank 4 pots of tea, and Sherman consumed 892 fortune cookies. We then returned to the penny arcade, and to our surprise, the place was overrun with police.
All right, break it up. Show's all over. Go home.
Pardon me, officer, but has a crime been committed?
You bet your boots.
Golly, where's Mr. Confucius? And where's his stall?
Sure, that's what we like to know.
You mean Confucius has been kidnapped?
Right. Also stolen, kidnapped. Boy, this very crazy modus operandi.
While the police spread a dragnet, Sherman and I thought things over. Over some tea and fortune cookies, naturally. Sherman, that is your 1,000th fortune cookie. Do you want to spoil your dinner?
I can't help it, Mr. Peabody. I like to read the fortunes.
What does that one say?
It says, Help! I'm being held prisoner on a junk. And it's signed Confucius.
Well, this was obviously a great stroke of fortune, Cookie.
Where are we going, Mr. Peabody?
We're going to find that junk, Sherman.
But where do you look for a junk?
Where else but a junkyard? A moment later, we entered the only junkyard in town, and there, just casting off from the dock, was a sinister-looking junk. Quickly, Sherman, hop aboard.
I gonna put you out the way, Confucius. Then I make $1,000,000 yen.
How so, kidnapper?
Oh, very simple. Confucius say jokes very big in China. When you gone, I start new game.
You have new game?
Right.
What you call new game?
I call knock knock who there? Knock knock who there? Peabody.
Oh, happy day! It's Honorable Rescue Party.
Unfortunately, the Honorable Rescue Party happened to be standing on a secret trapdoor.
Now, as I was say before interruption.
Oh, yes, you are talking about a new game.
He tricked us, Mr. Peabody. We're trapped down here with no way out.
There is always a way out, Sherman. One merely has to look for it. And look for it we did.
No steps, no ladders, no portholes, no nothing.
What have we here?
That's just a box of fish bowls.
Then that's our way out. Step back, Sherman. I'm going to let the river in.
But we'll drown, Mr. Peabody.
No, we won't. Invert the fishbowl, Sherman. Put it over your head. Even if the water should rise above our heads, the fishbowl will contain sufficient air to allow us to float up through the trapdoor. That's the boy.
Yes, sorry. Knock knock game. Brilliant idea.
I agree, but please turn faucet off. Confucius getting very wet.
Oh, hey, what's going on around here? How come river up to ankles?
Perhaps the tide come in.
Never come in like this before.
Boat sinking, head for shore.
Oh, no. Police on shore. Let boat sink.
Can you swim?
Swim? What does swim mean?
You better head for shore.
Minutes later, the police had everything under control.
You all right, Confucius? I'm fine, thank you. Good. Then we go to jail and you prefer charges against Genghis Khan.
Well, there they go, Mr. Peabody. But did I hear right? Did he say that the kidnapper was Genghis Khan?
Yes, Sherman, but I'm sure that by the time he's released, his name will be changed.
To what, Mr. Peabody?
To Genghis X-Khan. Let's go have some egg foo young, Sherman.
Well, it's busy on Mount Flatten these days, for Rocky and Bullwinkle have decided to take the floating mountain to Washington secretly.
Secretly? But how?
Easy. We just take this jet motor out of your plane, fasten it to the mountain, and zoom!
Zoom?
Sure. Come on, give me a hand.
But won't people notice us?
Not if we fly at night.
Of course. Who will ever see us at night?
You hear that, Boris?
Uh-huh.
They're going to fly mountain at night.
Pretty clever, all right.
You not worried, darling?
Not as long as I got Fireside Cookbook.
Boris, you found recipe.
Of course, right here under fiendish plans for all occasions.
What we do?
Come to other side of mountain.
And the two villains hurried off to their side of Mount Flatten. Meanwhile, paced by the hard-working Rocky, our friends had the jet engine set up in no time at all.
Yeah, and the sun is going down too. I said, and the sun is going down too. Hey! You know, for the sun, he's not too bright.
Okay, Bullwinkle, let's go!
Right, Rock!
And the jet engine began to roar, and Mount Flatten slowly moved through the evening sky. Steering by the stars, Rocky guided the mountain across the country toward Washington.
Well, this certainly proves one thing, Rock.
What's that?
You can take it with you.
All night long, the good ship Mount Flatten pressed eastward. Then as the first rays of the rising sun struck their faces, our heroes turned off the engine.
But this mountain's top secret, Rocky. How do we keep people from seeing it in the daytime?
Nothing to worry about, Captain Peach Fuzz. Watch!
And the brainy squirrels steered the mountain into an enormous cloud cloud bank where it was hidden from view.
Now let's get some sleep till it gets dark again.
And our friends, exhausted from their all-night vigils, slept soundly. 12 hours later...
Rise and shine, everybody!
Shine? I can't even glow dimly.
Say, where'd our cloud get to?
Sure enough, the mountain was now out in the open. Then Rocky made another disquieting discovery.
That land down there looks pretty familiar.
Well, it should, Rock. That's the U.S. of A.
But I think this is exactly where we started from.
That's ridiculous, Rocky.
Ridiculous or not, when Rocky checked their position with a sextant...
No doubt about it. We haven't moved an inch.
Or a mountain either.
Rocky, I see something sinister in this.
Why, Captain?
Oh, I don't know. I just see something sinister in everything.
Well, all we can do is try again. Fire away, Bullwinkle!
Once more, our friends drove on through the night sky until daylight appeared. But again, when they awoke, they were still right where they started.
I know what it is, Rock.
What?
I didn't pull in the anchor.
We don't have an anchor, Bullwinkle.
Well, I said I didn't pull it in.
All right, everybody, life jackets to your stations. Abandon ship.
Captain, why are you giving orders to abandon ship?
Because, frankly, Rocky, we're sunk.
No, sir, I'm not going to give up. Fire up, Bullwinkle!
Okay, but I call this getting nowhere in a hurry.
And a third time, the determined squirrel piloted Mount Flatten through the sky. When the dawn began to break, he once more pulled into a fog bank.
Well, it's me for 40 winks, fellas.
Right, Captain, or even 50.
No, Bullwinkle, this time we keep our eyes open.
That's no way to sleep.
We won't sleep. We'll stand guard instead.
And our two heroes huddled in the clammy fog, waiting for... who knows what?
Not us, certainly.
Be with us next time for the cliffhanger or Taken for Granite.
Well, it looks as if our time has just about run out.
Mine must be a little slow.
You got the credits, Bullwinkle?
All on this itty-bitty card. Oop!
We're late again, Bullwinkle.
Right!
Bye now. See you next time.